Hey, hello everyone. Good morning. Can you confirm? Audible or not?
Yeah, audible, sir.
So, where we stopped in the last session. Today onwards, we are going to start like JavaScript, right? So, the current batch flux grid will discuss on Saturday, okay? And now, just you can hold it. So, tell me, why we go for JavaScript? One line answer. Why we go for JavaScript?
Perform some operations.
See, for example, in my browser, okay, just I want to show some content. Okay, my content is like hello world. Then in my browser, inside the browser, just I want to render hello world content. Then the type, just you can create like one HTML file. Inside that HTML file, you can write like one element, hello world. Like this, you can write it. Yes or no. Only some normal plain text I want. That's it. Now, once you have this particular template or particular text inside the browser, if you want to make it like, okay, red color, then the time you have to apply some CSS or not. You have to apply some CSS. So how we can apply the CSS? You know that one. Three ways we can apply. You can on this particular content. If you want to change the behavior, if you want to make it like look and feel, then the time you can go with the CSS. So my thing is like whenever you click on this particular hello world text, whenever you click on this particular hello world text, I want to change this text. I want to change this text like a hello Sachin. That means whenever you click on this particular element, I want to perform some operation here. What kind of operation? Change the h1 text, h1 content, you can say. Whenever you click on this h1, just I want to change hello world to hello Sachin. That means you are performing some actions on the elements or not. You are performing some action on the element or not. So if you want to render some content, only HTML is enough. If you want to make that particular content is like look and feel, CSS is enough. On the content, if you want to perform some actions, if you want to click on the content, I want to change. If you want to click on this particular element, I want to change the content from hello world to hello section. Like this, if you want to perform some operations on the element, then you can go with the JavaScript. Then you can go with the JavaScript. Simply in my browser, there has multiple, okay, there has multiple elements are going to load. That element related content is going to load. On the content or on the elements, if you want to perform some actions, then the time you can go with the JavaScript or not. Okay, now you can take any website. Okay, simply you can take like, okay, our website is this one, for example. Now see here, this is my normal text. I want to make it like look and feel. For that purpose, just I added like a background color and a text color is like white. So only plain text is like your post that is developed using normal HTML. To make it like look and feel, just I applied some CSS, background color and text color. Now, whenever I entered username and password, see on this particular element, what is my element name? Button. What is my element name here? Button. On the button, if you want to perform some action, if I click on the button, if the username and password is like correct, just I want to navigate to the home page or not. So the button click, okay, is like one action. You performed on which element? On the button element. If you want to perform some actions on the elements, if you want to perform some actions on the elements, okay, most of the times we can go with what? JavaScript or not. Most of the times we can go with the JavaScript. Now for example, this is email. The text box accept the email value. Okay, that means the text value, the text box value should be like a email. For example, okay, if I remove this dot, then that time what happened should be in the email format. Okay, now if I click on the login also, it is not perform any action here. You validated this particular input to text or not based on your business requirement. you validated this particular input text based on your requirement or not. So how we can validate means you have to write some code on this particular element change. You need to perform some operation. You have to validate this particular text which is entered in the text box or not. For that purpose, we are going to use like what, JavaScript. In this case, what is my action? Previous the action is like button click. Now the action is like what? For every change I want to validate. For every change I want to validate my text or not, what you entered in the text box. So here also, okay, you are going to use like JavaScript to perform some actions on the elements. Most of the times we can go with what, JavaScript or not. To perform some actions on the elements, then the time you can go with the JavaScript or not. So one line answer is what? Okay, very simple. HTML, to prepare some content rendered inside the browser. CSS, to that content if you want to make it look and feel. JS, on the content if you want to perform some actions. Okay, in the browser there has some content loaded. If you want to perform some actions on that content, then you can go with what, JavaScript or not. Understood? Up to here, okay? Come on. Now, if you want to start, okay, with some JavaScript concepts, if you want to start learning the JavaScript concepts, I prefer like to practice purpose. Okay, in our browser, in your browser, there has a developer console window is there. Okay, how we can open the developer console window? Everyone knows. So open the developer console window. Open the developer console window. And in this developer console window, now if you observe there is a multiple tabs over there. One of the tab I'm going to use to execute my JavaScript code. Now onwards. One of the, okay, you can talk right side, left side, or wherever you want. One of the tab name is like console. I want to use to write my JavaScript code. Okay. Now see, if you want to practice HTML, CSS, JavaScript, nothing is required. Just browser is enough. No need to install the softwares like Java, JDK software you have to install. Python software, .NET. Okay. HTML, CSS, JavaScript, nothing is required. HTML, if you want to practice, go to the Elements tab. Whatever the code already they written, okay, do right click, okay, just do edit as HTML. Okay, whatever the code they written, just you can delete it. Now h1 okay, hello Sachin, just click on outside. Now see my hello Sachin visible or not. Now I want to make it like look and feel. Okay, now which element you want me to apply? H1. So my background color, see here itself in the elements tab itself, there has one more section is there, style section, right? Background is like yellow. Background yellow. Text align equals to center. Okay, the color is like what? Color equals to white. Now see, just I make it like what? Look and feel or not? Just I want to, okay, make it this one like a look and feel. Okay, just I'm explaining. If you want to write HTML, directly go to the Elements tab. Just you can, previous code, you can delete it. Whatever you want, now you want to write, just you can write it to that particular one. Okay, that means you prepared some content which is rendered inside the browser using HTML. To that particular content, if you want to make it like look and feel, then you can apply some CSS like this or not. Then you can apply some CSS like this. Okay, so HTML and CSS. The next one is what? JavaScript. In the Elements tab, you can manage the HTML and CSS. In the Console tab, we are going to want to, we are going to write some JavaScript code or not. So you can go to the console. Here, see, our requirement is what I said. Okay, what I said. We not discuss that particular topic. Just I want to show JavaScript is going to work or not in the console. Whenever you click on this particular element, whenever you click on this particular element, okay, just I want to make this element text is like what, hello Sachin to hello do. That is my requirement. If I click on this one, I want to perform some actions. If you perform some action on the element, then you can go with what, JavaScript or not. Whenever you click on this particular element, okay, I want to perform some action. What kind of action? Okay, hello Sachin should turn to be like hello Dhoni. So that how we can, in the console, we can write some JavaScript code. On which element you want to perform some operation? H1. So that first get the H1 element. Already you know how to get the element reference. Everyone knows who is like already completed HTML and CSS, how to get the reference of an element. Come on, how to get the reference of a
Document dot
document.
document dot get element by ID.
Okay, that one we not discussed. We discussed only query selector, na?
Query select.
H1 like this. See my reference. You can get the H1 or not. So I want to add, see this topic not discussed, just I want to show like in the console JavaScript code is going to work or not. Add event listener. Okay, my listener is like a, okay, which kind of event you want me to trigger? Click event. Okay, whenever you click on this one, just I want to do like my inner text equals to hello Dhoni. Like this you can. Done. Now, whenever you click on this one, now see, simply my hello Dhoni. Hello Dhoni. Change it or not, Sachin to Dhoni. Now see, what I'm trying to say is, if you want to practice HTML, CSS, JavaScript, okay, only browser is enough. In the browser, Elements tab you can use for what? To write your HTML content. If you want to make it like look and feel, then the time you can write some CSS in the Elements tab, only the style section. If you want to perform some actions on this particular content, if you want to perform some actions on this particular content, then the time you can go to the console and you can write the JavaScript code or not. This particular one we not yet discussed. Don't worry about this one, what I written. My thing is like, I want to show you how the console is going to work, how the elements tab is going to work to write your HTML, CSS, JavaScript code. Understood everyone so far? Come on.
Yeah.
Okay. So the next thing is like, okay, now come to our, now, okay, why we go for JavaScript? To perform some actions on the elements, that's it. To perform some actions on the element. Okay, that kind of the different actions are there. Different actions are there. We'll see one by one, one by one. So one line answers, HTML. To prepare some content rendered in the browser, that content want to look and feel, go with the CSS. On the content, perform some actions, go with the JavaScript or not. Okay, now come here. Now, any programming language, JavaScript also it's a kind of, okay, one of the language only, okay, which is running inside the browser. But in the Node.js, okay, this particular JavaScript code we can run outside the browser also. Node.js provided an environment. Before Node.js, my HTML, CSS, JavaScript all are running in the browser only. But once my Node is introduced, they provided you environment which runs, okay, that means what, which allows you to run your JavaScript code outside the browser. That is separate concept linked. Okay, so either you want to learn JavaScript or java Java or Python or PHP, most of the common, okay, most of the concepts are like a common concepts. Okay, if you learn these concepts, remaining all technologies, these concepts are like syntactically different. But most of them, okay, the procedure and everything is like the purpose, the functionality and everything is like same. Okay, Java, Python, you can take it, .NET, you can take it, .NET, you can take it. Okay, which concepts are like common, if you learn the concepts like the variables, the purpose of the variable in JavaScript, for what purpose we are going to use the variables in JavaScript, the same purpose, okay, we are going to use the variables in Java and Python and .NET and remaining programming languages also. The next one is like common concepts I'm telling. Functions. The purpose of the functions, for what purpose you are going to use those functions in JavaScript, the same purpose we are going to use here also. Okay, but the functions are like within the class, it's like a method. Okay, whatever it may be, the syntax may be different, but the procedure and the way of handling is like same. The next one is like oops concepts. Oops concepts. In JavaScript, whatever the oops concepts we are going to discuss, the same concepts you can see in the Java and Python and .NET also. .NET also, the same concepts. At least if you learn JavaScript, you can at least talk the oops concepts in Java. Why? Because the definitions and everything is like same. The syntax different. Syntax is like different. Okay. The next one is like exception handling. Exception handling. this concept also, okay, whatever you learn in the JavaScript, so the same thing we are going to applicable for Java, Python, and .NET also, exception handling also. Okay, like this multiple concepts are like common for all the programming languages. Some extra Java, okay, has their own extra properties, or okay, extra features or there maybe. But most of the things are like OOPS concepts are like very, very important. These OOPS concepts are like common for all. The syntax different, but the concepts is like what, the class, so object, inheritance, overloading, overriding, these all are like common. Okay, that the reason focus on one technology. Okay, not only JavaScript. If you learn Java, okay, simply you can easily understand is like JavaScript and Python and .NET also. You can easily understand. The concept is like same only, the syntax is different, that's it. That the reason focus on one programming language. Now this time just we can focus on the JavaScript. After that you only just apply JavaScript variables concept you completed, for example. Okay, in Java how we can create the variable, just think like that. In Python how we can create a variable, think like that. In .NET how we can create a variable. Don't stick with like one programming language. Okay, in your hand one client side technology and one server side technology, and should have some, okay, DevOps knowledge also. Like this current industry is like expecting from the developers. Okay, so first concept you can go. First, variables. Why we go for variables? Okay, simple. Okay, why we go for variables? This is like why we go for variables. This question is like common for any programming language. Why we go for variables? Okay,
To
how
store
we
the
can
data.
create? Yeah, how we can create the variable in JavaScript? That is our goal. How can we create a variable in JavaScript? That is our, okay, that is our class. Okay, that means our sessions are like related to specific JavaScript only. So this question is like common for all. So why we go for variables? For example, okay, in any programming language you can take it, we are going to play with the data only, right? Yes or no? So for example, I have some data. Okay, this is like data only, 1,000. Okay, I have some data, some of the some characters are there, Sachin. Okay, this particular data I want to use in my program in multiple places. I want to use this particular data in multiple places. For example, if you want to use some item in future, first of all, that item you have to store somewhere, you have to keep somewhere or not. Yes or no? Okay, here also same thing. Okay, this 1,000 I want to use in multiple places in my program. This Sachin I want to use in multiple places in my program. Then that time, can you do one thing? Can you store this particular value somewhere? Can you use it in future? So the question is like how we can store this particular value. That is the question. In any programming language, if you want to store some data, then you can go with what? Variables or not. Then the time we can go with the variables or not. So how we can create the variable? Okay, what's my answer? Why we go for variable means, okay, your answer is like simple. Okay, to store some data which is used for what? For future purpose. Can use in future or not. You can use, we can store some data, that's it. If you want to store some data, then that time you can go with the variables. In any programming language, this is like a common definition. So how we can create the variable in JavaScript, specific to JavaScript, how we can create the variable to store my 1,000, to store my Sachin, how we can create the variable? That is the question. So if you want to create a variable, okay, you should learn first of all, okay, the syntax of any programming language. First, you have to learn like a syntax or not. So in JavaScript, the syntax is what you know. Okay, very simple syntax. My variable name, and my variable value. That's it. Variable name and variable value. Value. Okay. Another one is like, okay, two syntaxes you can. Data type and variable name and variable value. This is one more. These are like valid syntaxes only. The next one is like data type, variable name. There is no value. Possibility there or not there. See, these three syntaxes we can use to create a variable in JavaScript. First one is like what? Variable name and variable value. So which value you want me to store? 1,000. 1,000. So this 1,000 is like a variable value. Variable name can be anything, but based on your requirement as a developer, you know that 1000. The 1000 is like a normal value. Now, for example, those are like mocks, those are like amount. Okay, based on your requirement, based on your business requirement, okay, you decide which kind of name you want me to give. Okay, any name you can give, no problem at all. So here, okay, my amount equals to 1000. Like this you can write. It is a simple normal variable creation in JavaScript. Another one also there. Another one also there. So here we are going to use like a data type, variable name, and variable value. See, data types are like in Java.NET is different, and JavaScript is like different. Okay, we have a separate discussion. Okay, see, the data types are like in JavaScript what we are going to use, you know. Okay, for now, just you can remember these words, either var or let or constant. After that, variable name is like what? Amount is equals to 1000. What is this var let constant? The difference is what? We'll discuss later. For now, just remember, he said like data type, my var is like one kind of data type, and let to and constant. The next one is like data type and variable name only. Data type and variable name only. There is no variable value. So that var or let or constant and amount equals to something. But whenever you use like a constant, you have to assign some value. Okay, that is like separate story. We'll see later. Now see, the first syntax is like what? Variable name and variable value. The second one is like a data type and variable name and variable value. And the third one is like your data type and variable value. There is no, okay, variable name and there is no variable value. These three syntaxes you can use to create a variable in JavaScript to store some data. Got my point? So you can go now. Where you want me to write the JavaScript code? Where you
Sir,
want me to?
here let const and where is the data type?
Which one? No,
Let const
just
and
we are going
where?
to tell like these are like a data types in JavaScript. But the thing is like, okay, that's what I'm telling. The thing is like it is not represent or it is not tell something about the exact type of the data. It is going to tell something about the behavior of your variable. Okay, it is not like in Java int a equals to 10. Okay, int is like a data type. That's okay, fine. But here, where let constant, we are telling like a data types only. But those are not tell something about the type of your data. It is tell something about the behavior of your variable. Got my point? Okay, we have a discussion, separate discussion about the where let constant. Agreed?
Okay, sir.
Okay, it is not tell something about the type of your data. It's tell something about the behavior of your variable in JavaScript. Okay, na? So let's go then. Okay, now I want to create a variable. I want to create a variable. Just I want to practice. For that purpose, I don't want to write any JavaScript file. In future, I'm going to write. For now, practice purpose, let's open the browser and go to one tab. Right click on it and inspect it. Now there has one developer console window opened. This developer console window, three dots we have now. You can dock wherever you want. See, the second one highlighted. Here there is two sections are there, less space and more space. Less space is related to your developer console window. More space is your actual view. Now here also see, top your actual view, bottom your developer console window. Here right side your developer console window, left side is like your actual view. And this one is like it is coming total developer console window out of your view. Okay, now see, if I click on this one, it is dock in the bottom. If I click on this one, dock to right side. If I click on the first icon, it is undocked from the view. See, it came outside or not? It came outside. Okay, if you want to use this one, okay, but a better view or a big console you want, then the time you can go, you can undock it, you can write some code here. Okay, that is your wish. So right, first I want to create one variable. I want to create one variable. So how we can create a variable that has multiple syntaxes over there? Na? Tell me how we can create a variable. First syntax is what? Variable name and a variable value. So can I write like my variable name is like what? Amount, and my variable value is like 1000. Okay, just there is no semicolon, nothing is required like Java. Just click on enter. Just click on enter. Okay, it means there is no errors, nothing, means there has one variable created. Is it like created or not created? Can you check it? Okay, now see, it is like created or not. Amount. Okay, if I click on enter, now see the 1000 printed or not. Yes or no? One variable created or not? Okay, now for example, if I write something like this, location, okay, LOC. Okay, now if I click on enter, then what happened? Can anyone tell me? If I write like amount, okay, amount variable already created, so that the value you can get it as like a output. LOC, LOC, this particular variable created or not created in this particular context?
Not created.
Not created. One variable is not created, still you are looking for the variable in any programming language, you can get the error. What is that error? This particular variable is defined or not defined? Not
LOC
LOC
is not
defined.
defined.
undefined.
Okay, so that you can get an error is like what? The reference error, location is not defined or not. Okay, in your programming, okay, in your program, in your application, most of the times you can get this kind of errors. Okay, is not defined means very simple thing. You are looking for something that is not in the context or not, that is not defined in that particular context or not. Understood, everyone? In any programming language, in any programming language, if you want to use one variable, first you have to define that variable. Okay, and then you can use it, but you not defined that particular variable. Okay, still you are trying to, okay, get the value, so that you can get like what? Location is LOC is not defined or not. Agreed? So as you said, amount is defined, right? Amount is defined, right? So I'm getting this error. Can you tell me one point about this statement? Can you tell me some point about this statement? One.
JavaScript
Capital and a
is case
small.
sensitive.
It's a case
Case
sensitive,
sensitive.
right? It's a case sensitive, right? Yes or no? Okay, my all lower cases, okay, all lower cases in my amount, all lower cases, I created one variable. Okay, so that I'm trying to use, yes, I can get like a output is like 1000. But whenever I use like a capital A MOUNT, then the time the capital A MOUNT is not defined. That means what? It is looking for exact match or not. Yes or no? Okay, that's the reason capital A MOUNT is not defined anywhere here. So you can get the error is like what? Amount is not defined or not. So JavaScript is like what? Case sensitive or not. Understood what? Got my point? Okay. Up here, okay, everyone? First syntax. The second syntax is what? Where my name equals to Sachin. My name equals to Sachin. See, my name defined or not? Name is like defined or not? Name is like a Sachin. Yes or no? Okay, let location equals to Mumbai. Mumbai. Now see, my location defined or not? Another one is like what? Where or let to constant. Don't think more about this. What is where, what is let, what is constant. We have a separate discussion, and okay, we'll see some examples also on this. For now, just remember these three terminology, these three keywords you can easily remember. Okay, my marks equals to, okay, 50. Now see, my marks like defined or not. So either you can define without a data type, either you can define a variable with data type also, no problem at all. Okay. Now, if you want to clear the console, say this, there has one icon is there, clear console, just you can clear it. Okay. Now what I'm doing, see, what is my output? What is my output? What is my output? What is my output? See, if I clear the console also, still they are maintaining what? They are maintaining that particular, okay, whatever you executed the statements, they are maintaining those statements or not. If you clear the console. Now, what I'm going to do is just dock it again. Okay. Now, if I refresh this particular tab, if I refresh this particular tab, okay, now see, if I refresh this particular tab, just I refresh it. Now, I'm trying to access my name, okay, or I'm trying to access my location. Now see, there are mobs, there are, come on, amount, there are, tell me. Now you can tell me one statement about the console. Whatever the statements you executed in the console, okay, you can clear it. Whenever you clear, okay, still the execute statements are like maintained or not. When they're completely destroyed, whenever you refresh this particular tab, whatever the statements you executed, those are like what, destroyed or not? Yes or no? Okay, now to avoid this error, what you have to do to avoid this error? How we can fix this error? Location is not defined. What is the fix required?
We need to
How we can fix this error?
Define again.
Okay, you have to define. Okay, now already you written some statements now. Those statements maintained in the cache in the console, you can use up arrow, down arrow. Whatever the statements in the past you executed, you can view. See, I'm clicking on the up arrow. Now see this, I'm clicking on the up arrow. Now see, whatever the statements you executed, those statements I'm able to see or not. Now see, this is the location. Can I click on enter? Whenever I have the statement, okay, if you want to execute that particular statement, just do click. Now my location is like what again? Okay, it's like defined or not? Understood? Whenever you clear, no problem, no problem. Whenever you refresh, the statements like destroyed. Say this. Okay, now don't worry about that one. Okay, you written like 100 lines of code. How we can get that previous code? Just click on up arrow, down arrow in your keyboard. Now see, okay, this statement only I want to execute. Just click on enter to execute that one. Now you can see this statement. Color okay? Agreed? Okay, next syntax is what? Okay, I'm refreshing. Okay, done. Next syntax is what? My data type, location. That's it. No initial value. Done. So what is my location now? What is my location? Okay, by seeing this statement, can you conclude? Can you tell me one more statement? By seeing this particular statement, what I executed, can you tell me one statement about?
We defined it,
Come on.
but we have not given any value for it.
If you create a variable without any value, without initializing, okay, without initializing, if you create a variable, what is the default value in JavaScript? What is the default value in JavaScript? Undefined, right? Undefined is like a, okay, it's like a value only. It's the default value in JavaScript or not. Understood? If you create any variable in JavaScript, if you not mention, okay, the initial value, if you not assign any value, then that time, okay, what is the default value for that particular variable? What is the default value for that particular variable in JavaScript? Undefined. Your answer is like, okay, straightforward question. It's like, what is the default value for the variables in JavaScript? It is like undefined. Understood, everyone? Okay, okay then. Now I'm going to write some statements. Okay, just you tell me what you understood. Now, where a equals to 10, where b equals to such, where c equals to true, where d equals to 1 comma 2 comma 3, where e equals to, okay, n1 10, en2 20. Okay, where f equals to, what do you think about these statements? What do you think about these statements? These all statements, common thing is what? You created variables only, right? You created like variables only or not? How many variables you created? There is multiple. Okay, there is 6 variables you created. I said like where is what? Just now I said like where is what? Where is a data type? Okay, now tell me in JavaScript, where data type, it is going to tell something about the value of your, okay, initial value. Is it tell something about the type of this particular value? Tell me.
No.
Where is like tell something like specific type in JavaScript? No, right? Okay, now see, I created a variable where a equals to 10. Here my variable a holds number value. Here my variable b is holds what? Come on. B holds what?
String.
Enclosed with the single colon or double. Okay, single quote or double quote. That's like a string. You know that. Okay. The next C is what? Holds
Boolean.
Boolean value or not. D holds what?
Array.
One array, right? Okay, E holds what? One object,
Object.
right? My F holds what? One function, right?
Function.
Okay, here see, my where is the data type? I said, okay, it can hold any kind of data or not. Okay, in that case, okay, do you want me to tell me the statements like my where is a data type? It's going to tell something about the type of your value. Is it like tell something about the type? No, right? Okay, if you come to the Java, then that time, now see, into A equals to 10, into A equals to 10. My string name equals to Sachin. My string name equals to Sachin. If you write like this, now tell me, this is also data type only in Java. Now this data type tells something about the type of your value or not. Yes or no?
Yes.
Come on. Okay, here string name equals to Sachin. Okay, it's like a double quote. Okay, string name equals to Sachin. It's always tell something about what? My name holds what? Okay, Sachin. The Sachin data type is like string only. Now, if you write like string equals to 10, then the time in Java you can get the error, uncompatible error or not. Yes or no? Okay, so that what I'm trying to say is, do we have the exact data types in JavaScript into string, Boolean, that kind of? Am I mentioned anywhere while creating a variable? Anywhere that kind of data types am I mentioned? I mentioned like where let constant is like a data types, but those are like already proven. Those are like not holding okay exact type of okay. It's not representing exact type of your value or not. My var is a data type, but it can hold any kind of data. Let also okay terminology wise I'm telling like data type. Okay, it is also holds any kind of data. In that case, my var let constant is not representing the type of your value. It tells something about the behavior of your variable. Var let constant, it does not tell something about the type of your value. It tells something about the behavior of your variable. Okay, what is that behavior? We'll see later. We'll see later. Var let constant, we'll see later. Up to here, okay or not? How to create a variable? How to create a variable up to here, okay or not? Now, if you want to think, okay, if you want to compare with other programming language, in JavaScript, if you want to create a variable, okay, var name equals to Sachin, var name equals to Sachin. In Java, if you want to create, okay, just you can say like what string name equals to Sachin. Most of things are like same only, right? Here also data type, okay, variable name and variable value or not. In .NET, if you want, okay, if in .NET if you want, okay, similar kind of Java syntax only. Okay, similar kind of Java syntax only. If you want in PHP, if you want in PHP, okay, just you can put like what? My dollar name equals to Sachin. Dollar name equals to Sachin. Okay, if you want like a Python, if you want like Python, simply name equals to Sachin. That's it. Now see, if you learn this particular syntax, see the definition is common for all. Why we go for variables? In Java, in .NET, PHP, and Python, remaining programming languages, that definition is like to store some data for future purpose. Okay, it is going to hold some value which can be used in future. If you want to define it in JavaScript, how we can define? Okay, where let constant or without data type also you can define a variable. In Java, okay, you can define okay your variable, okay, your data type and variable name and your variable value. And .NET and PHP and Python. See, if you learn this syntax, okay, if you apply for remaining programming languages, you can easily understand or not. Got my point? Okay. After okay, how to create a variable in JavaScript? Okay, one error. Okay, so far we learn. Okay, what is that error? One error. Not defined, is not defined. This error wherever you see here, LOC na something, whatever it is reference. This error wherever you see in JavaScript now onwards is not defined. In your mind, you have to think like immediately, okay, I'm looking for one thing that is not available in the context. I am looking for one reference that is not available in the context. Like that, you have to think. I'm looking for one reference that is not available in that particular context. Like that, you have to think. Yes or no? So what is the fix is required? What fix is required for this particular error message? What fix is required? Go to that particular one.
Define it.
Okay, I'm looking for location is not defined. Okay, just you have to define that particular one or not. Define that. Okay, that is a variable, class, function. That is next level. That reference you have to define or not. Understood? Agreed, everyone? Okay, the next one. In this only, you said like variables are used for to store some data. If you want to store some data, some space is required, some memory is required or not. In JavaScript, how the memory is like allocated to the variable? That is the question. So I have one statement is there. Okay, if you know how to justify that statement, you can tell. Okay, the statement is like, okay, very simple statement. JavaScript is a dynamically typed programming language. Dynamically typed programming language. Okay, but Java is not. Okay, both you have to prove. JavaScript is like what? Dynamically typed programming language. Dynamically typed programming language, but my Java is not. Why you are telling like Java is not? Why JavaScript is like dynamically typed programming language? That is my question. Anyone knows? Why my Java is like dynamically type? JavaScript is like dynamically typed programming language. Why Java not? Okay, prove it. Okay, very simple. So the memory is going to allocate to the variables now. So first create a variable in Java. Okay, let me show you the example also. Yeah. So if you want to create a variable in Java, you know that how we can create a variable. Your Java data type, variable name, and
Variable value.
variable value or not. Okay, everyone knows the syntax. Okay, now what is my data type? As I said, integer. Okay, anything integer amount equals to 1000. If I put integer amount equals to 1000. Yeah, we can change one data type to another data type. We have like a parse methods over there. Okay, let me show you really quickly. Parse. Okay, parse int is there. For example, the stringified value. Okay, I can change into the number. Okay, like this we can change it. Satish. Okay, let's come back. So whenever you create a variable in JavaScript, okay, in Java, first you can go with Java. Whenever you create a variable in Java, variables are used for what? To store some data. If you want to store some data, some space is required. Space is nothing but in our programming language terminology, space is nothing but some memory is required or not. If it is like Java, okay, first it is going to check. First thing is like check the data type. What is the data type here? To this particular variable, what is my data type? What is my data type? See,
Integer.
integer or not. In Java, if it is like integer, there is multiple data types are there. Okay, just focus on integer. It is easy for us. In Java, first, based on the data type, they are going to allocate the memory. Fixed memory, they are going to allocate. Integer is like 4 bytes, string is like 8 bytes, long is like 8 bytes, something like that. Okay, for every data type, they has okay some specific memory. Okay, so if it is like integer in Java, they allocated like how much memory, 4 bytes memory they allocated first. Okay, so based on the data type, they allocated first 4 bytes memory. First they allocated, they fixed. Okay, integer, you take 4 bytes. Like that, they fixed. Now that memory is there, somewhere some space is there. If you want to keep something, you should know the location, right? Okay, for example, I want to keep something in one location. First of all, that location address is required, then only, right, I keep my items there. So here the memory space is there. Space is there. Okay, if you want to keep this value, the space address is required or not. Once you allocated the memory, that memory address, okay, pointing with your variable name. Okay, that address is like what? Your variable name address. Okay, name is like this one. Okay, the location name is like amount. Once you have the location, in that location, they put like how much value? What is the value? 1000 is my value, they put it. Simple. Okay, this is the thing is happened in Java. So my question is very simple. Memory allocated first or not? Memory allocated first before initialize, before keep the value, first they allocated the memory or not? Yes or no in Java? First they allocated the memory and then they kept some value or not? Yes or no? Come on, in Java. Okay, okay. Now again, I'm going to write in Java only. Int number equals to this is my number. Okay, na? This is my number. Now tell me what happened. Again, in Java, the procedure tell me what is my data type. Int. How much memory allocated?
Integer.
How much memory allocated?
4
4
bytes.
4 bytes memory allocated. Okay. What is the address name?
10
Number. Number.
Okay.
In that particular memory, okay, they are going to place like what? They are going to place this much big number or not? Yes or no? This much big number or not? Now tell me the difference between this variable and this variable. This particular memory is enough. Okay, some memory is like what? Okay, 1000 only I used. This much space is there. This much space is there. For example, think like that. Okay, this much space is a empty space only. That is not utilized. 1000. This space is like not utilized. My 1000 place. That's okay. Okay, my memory sufficient memory is there. Just I put like 1000. But in this case, what happened? Tell me. In this case, what happened? Is this memory is like sufficient to hold this particular value? This 4 bytes memory is like enough to hold this particular value?
No.
No, right? It is like exceeded or not? Then that time in Java, what happened? Okay, error you can get it. Integer number is like too large. Integer number is like too large. Let me show you that one first. Okay, let me go to our I can say editors. Let's go to Java. Okay, now here just I'm going to create int amount equals to 1000. Okay, na? Let me print that. Let me print it, my amount that. Now see, now my amount is like okay 1000 is going to print it. Now here what I'm doing is okay. Now can I click on this? Now what error you can get it? See, integer number is like too large or not. That means hey, I allocated like 4 bytes memory only. You are putting like you are trying to put like this much big number. Okay, that number I am not able to handle. I am not able to keep it. Why? Because okay, that much memory is not there. 4 bytes memory is there. Okay, so that okay, this number is like too large for that particular space or not. Yes or no? Got my point? Agreed, everyone? In Java, this is the thing is happen. But now come to the JavaScript. Come to the JavaScript. Now tell me, do we have any particular type in JavaScript? Do we have any particular type in JavaScript? Do we have any specific type, integer or string or boolean like that? Do we have any
No.
specific data type in JavaScript? No, right? No, right? Okay. In JavaScript, what happened? You know, whenever you create a variable, not like Java, they not allocate the memory first. When they allocate the memory for this particular one, you know, you create a variable. Whenever you're trying to use that variable, that time dynamically how much memory is required, that much memory dynamically they allocate. Now, if you come to this one, int number equals to okay, this much big number is there. This much big number is there. That is like JavaScript. So that don't int var. Okay, this much big number is there. This much big number is there. Now tell me, in JavaScript, is my memory allocated first? No. Whenever you trying to use this number, that time dynamically how much memory is required. See, how much memory is required for this particular big value, that much memory they dynamically allocated. That's the reason if you come to JavaScript, If you come to JavaScript, now see where number equals to this. Okay, just you can print like console.log of number. Just you can print like console.log of number. Now, if you put something like this, if you put something like this, now see what happened. Now see what happened. Is there any error?
Okay.
Is there any error?
Output is
There is no error, nothing, right? There is no error, nothing, right? Okay. If you want to store this data, some memory is required or not? The memory, how they allocated in JavaScript variables means they required, whenever they required that time, how much memory is required, dynamically they allocated for this particular variable or not. That the reason we can say my JavaScript is like what? Dynamically typed programming language. Like this Python also same. Python also same. See, this is the Python. My name equals to, okay, number, amount equals to, okay, something like this. Okay, let me print it. Let me print it. Now see this. Now there is a big number is there in Python. Now if you come here, see, now tell me in Python, the memory allocated first, memory allocated dynamically now. Simple. Compare with other programming languages, that is easy for you. Memory allocated first or memory allocated dynamically in Python?
memory allocated dynamically.
Dynamically, right? So that my Python also come under what? Dynamically typed programming language only or not? Understood? So now you understood about the statement. JavaScript is like a dynamical type of programming language. Yes, no? Yes, no? Yes. Okay. Why? Simple answer. They allocated memory for that particular variable dynamically. How much is required? They not allocated the memory first and then place the value. Java is not. Yes, no. Yes. Why? In Java, memory allocated first based on the data type and then place the value. Okay, if the value is like big, the memory is not exceeded. Okay, extended. Okay, the memory is not extended. That's the reason. Okay, it is not having the sufficient memory, so you can get like an error is like is larger, integer number is like too large, that kind of errors you can get it or not. Okay, everyone, any questions so far? Anyone have any questions? Anyone have any questions? So up here, okay, right? How to create the variable? Okay, how to use that one? When you can get the is not defined error. If you get like is not defined error, how to fix it? These things you know or not? Okay. Okay, then for now I'm going to stop. Okay, just you can do one thing from your end. Okay, how to use the console? Just practice. Okay, go to any tab. Just you can open the console. Okay, here developer console window and open the console. There you can create like a variables. Okay, try to get reproduce the error is like is not defined. Okay, once you reproduce that one, how to fix it like that you can practice. Okay, once it is done, just compare with other programming language. Let's go to the chart GPT, how to create a variable in Java, how to create a variable in .NET, how to create a variable in Python. Okay, like that, just, okay, debug, just check. Understood? Anyone have any questions? Anyone have any questions so far? You should have to practice on daily basis, then only it will work out. Okay, if not, it's very difficult. One programming language you learn properly. Remaining all you can easily learn by your own. I'm sure that. Okay. Okay, then thank you guys. Thanks for joining. I'm going to share you the video. Okay. Thank you. Bye.